America.
No, wrong.
No.
Wrong. Next.
Vor vielen Jahren, bevor du geboren warst, lernte ich einen Mann kennen.
Sie verbrachten wenige Tage zusammen und er schenkte ihr ein Haus?
Hast du nie erwogen, es auszuschlagen?
Sehe ich etwa aus, als würde ich eine Villa in Südfrankreich ausschlagen?
Action! Cut! Cut!
Verzeihung.
Die moderne Welt hält nun Einzug auf Downton.
In this movie happens a lot. I mean, it's also called a new era, so of course there are a lot of changes. What do you think? What is the challenge your character needs to go through in this story?
For my character, the challenge is really quite straightforward. Who is he? Without giving too much away, that's the sort of question he starts to ask himself, that's quite a major thread for Robert.
Carson, it's how to adapt to the modern world, trying to resist the modern world, but having to maybe eventually adapt to the modern world being epitomised by a film crew in this case. Hold on to the values of the past whilst the world changes around him, and do you get swept away, or can you adapt? That's the perennial challenge, I think.
Cora has a secret in this movie. Because of this secret, she's forced to look at her life and kind of question what it's all added up to, and I think the act of doing that reveals a lot about who she is.
And I think Isabel's challenge is the mystery of an inheritance, which she's asked to deal with, and also she becomes a confidant in a much closer way with her old rival and friend, Lady Grantham, and that is her role in the film.
Ich finde, das ist ein schrecklicher Gedanke. Schauspielerinnen vollgekleistert mit Make-up und Schauspieler, die ebenso gemalt sind.
Er hat irgendetwas an sich. Wie ein wildes Tier, bereit zum Sprung.
Bereit, dich anzuspringen, meinst du wohl?
Laura, Dominic, you're the new ones in the story. Tell us a little bit about your characters.
Well, I play a Guy Dexter, who is a Hollywood silent movie star, and he's English, and he went to America and made his name, and is now coming back to England and making a silent movie at Downton.
And I play Myrna Dalgleish, and she is also a movie star who's come over from Hollywood. Same story, that we are shooting this movie at Highclere, this silent film. Halfway through the filming process, the studio informed the director that the movie will be that the talkies are becoming fashionable and popular and are generating more cash. So we need to discuss potentially looking into keeping up with the masses, and then that has a profound effect on my character. And in the movie, we watch her go through the trials and tribulations of dealing with that, potential reality.
Warum hat dir die Villa geschenkt?
An diesem Punkt bleibt es immer noch rätselhaft.
Dann sind wir an die Riviera entschwunden und mit etwas Glück verpassen wir Marys fürchterlichen Film.
Ich hoffe, dass dir ein Requisit war.
The story is based on kind of a secret that Lady Violet has, and suddenly part of the family needs to move to France. So my question to you is, what is the most beautiful country you've ever been to?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, it's got to be, I think, probably Germany, actually.
Where are you from?
I recently just came back from the Maldives, and I have to say, oh my goodness me, it blew my mind just how beautiful it was. It was exquisite, and it's like a picture. It's like a picture that you see with that clear ocean and the white sands, and you just can't believe that could be a real place, and then you arrive and it's breathtaking. So I think just because it's happened to me so recently, I think I'd probably have to say the island of, those islands in the Maldives.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up as a kid. My family used to go camping in France a lot, so I've always had a great affection for France. And I'd never been to the south of France, to this part of the Riviera before, so I was rather taken with the coastline there. It's quite stunning, and the light is particularly special and beautiful for filming.
Australia, possibly one of the most beautiful because of the diversity of the landscape in that country, because there's desert, there's sort of tropical regions. I remember going to Whitehaven Beach on a boat trip for a few days and scuba diving, and we were the only people on the beach, and there was these sort of like baby reef sharks in the shallows, and you'd sort of walk out into the shallows and they'd swim between your legs, and it was just like an idyllic moment, I would say. But I've had that a few times, most recently in Joshua Tree in California. So yeah, I don't know. I've been spoiled, I guess.
I'm going to put in a word for driving across the plains of America.
No, wrong.
No.
Wrong. Next.
Typical Brit.
Partisan.
Typical.
I love France, but I'm a walker, and I walk in the north of England down the east coast, and I haven't said that particularly, but I have been enchanted by, it was an area that I've never really walked that coastline before, and it does, if the weather's nice, which it never is, but occasionally it is, and when you get a good day,
when it's nice, you really love it.
Stunning.
You really appreciate it.
But actually, France is also, I think, probably my most favourite place, but because I've spent so much time there. Like Hugh, we went as children, so one becomes very fond of somewhere that has some sort of history.
Lao.
Ooh.
Yeah, loved it.
It's pronounced Lao, is it? I thought it was
I always called it Laos, but people
wrong.
call it Lao.
Lao,
Or
okay.
Lao or Laos in the Far East. Absolutely stunning country, great food, lovely people, unbelievable.
Transylvania in Romania. I've been a few times to this amazing part of Transylvania, which are these Saxon villages, these old German villages which are sort of dying out now, but these beautiful houses where there's no cars and it's horse and cart, and everyone has 5 acres which they farm in quite a traditional way, and it's an extraordinary sort of step back in time. And I've been there a couple of times and felt sort of deep peace there and relaxation there, because it's so sort of self-sufficient, and there's none of the anxieties of modernity. Funnily enough, it's an agrarian sort of population, and everyone farms their 5 acres and lives off the land, and lives in these beautiful houses. So yeah, I'd say Transylvania, and rolling hills and mountains and lakes and stuff. It's beautiful.
Frauen wie uns unterteilt man in 2 Kategorien. Drachen und doofe Gänse. Du musst dafür sorgen, dass man dich für einen Drachen hält. Und nun wünsche ich gute Nacht und überlasse euch den Spekulationen über meine mysteriöse Vergangenheit.